Arizona people,
She's talking about y'all.
I do not mind spending $10 on a pastry if they are really good, but you cannot use fake ingredients.
Something tells me she does mind spending $10 on a pastry.
That pistachio color is about as natural as my boobs and waistline. The coffee was super sour and acidic, but I prefer a creamy chocolatey espresso. $5 for a cannoli. I didn't even pay that in Santro
Did she say cannoli?
Cannoli.
Isn't it cannoli?
Cannoli.
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 If you're gonna be a food influencer, at least know how to say cannoli.
Hey, but that's the price next to the Phoenix airport? Okay. I was also super disappointed in the quiche. I prefer a quiche with a thick, rich, buttery crust. This had a paper-thin crust. If I wanted to ingest this much eggs, I would have eaten an omelet. I absolutely loved the pumpkin pie croissant, but everything was a little on the sweet and rich side, which some people love. Personally, I like my sweets a little less sweet, so I'd rather get treated like shit and go to Paris Baguette. Now, with all of that being said, I think if you stay away from the expensive ingredients like these nuts, you can definitely enjoy a delicious, rich pastry here.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, who you guys saw was an influencer called Glamorama, who now goes by a different name, but we'll talk about that later. Now, I don't know a lot about food influencers. I didn't even know that that was a thing. I know. As much as I come on here and yap, technically I knew what a food critic is, so kind of the same thing. I just never knew that there are people out there calling themselves food influencers. Anyway, not important. There's a fine line between being a food critic for people to know if they want to go to that restaurant or not, and being a mean girl. You can throw jabs, you can throw funny jokes over there, but I remember watching that video and I didn't laugh. In fact, I felt bad for the bakery. I'm like, dang, you just back to back throwing shots. So I did what any other TikToker consumer would do and go down the comment section, and I realized that I wasn't the only person that was feeling this way. I was waiting for the proper review because I've watched other food critics, food influencers, do this and they do it well. There's definitely something influencers do, and that is to go up to an establishment and ask for free things. Not all, but a good chunk of them. They just won't tell you. And in exchange, they'll offer a good review. And specifically when you target small businesses, you do have an advantage as an influencer because you have a much broader reach and you can either make or break a business. Glamorama said she's gonna go up to this bakery and crap on their food, and a lot of people clapped back, including the bakery. It's very uncommon to see a business clap back, but her clap back was so well done. Let's check it out.
So we recently had an influencer reach out to us and asked to do a collaboration, and we respectfully declined because it was not in our budget right now. Then she essentially tried to blackmail us by saying if we offered the food for free, she would then write a good review about us. I told her we'd think about it, but she still came in the next day. And although we hadn't agreed to collab with her, we recognized her when she came in, and we still were very accommodating and offered her extra drinks. So we totally respect a bad review. But what we don't like is lying and bullying. The first thing she said was that our pistachio was so faked. Fun fact, we have right here our pistachio paste that is 100% pistachios from Italy. All of our flours that we use in our product, the farine de blé, épeautre, gruyère rouge, all comes on a pallet from Europe. And also, this is our panettone flour, straight from Italy. It's written entirely in Italian. Not bad for a close to the airport bakery. Beyond the fact that we spend 10 times the amount of money to buy the ingredients, the most valuable part of our product is the time we spend to make them. From our sourdough starter to our dough, every single thing is handmade from scratch.
To make this, we spent 6 months to learn it, how to feed it, know how to work with it.
And it only likes the flour from Italy. And this isn't just about me. This specific influencer has gone to many different local restaurants and bullied them. The problem is if the next generation is influenced by her to believe it's okay to bully and disrespect the food industry. We like working with influencers, but acting like the working class is beneath you and promoting this kind of message on social media and bribing us for free stuff is not really something we support. My biggest pride in what I've built here isn't just how I source my ingredients, but it's having found the people to be my team that wake up every day and that care about what we do, our processes, and that work really, really hard to do this. And most of all, thank you to our customers, sincerely, because it's thanks to you that since day one, I get to live my dream of having a bakery. And thanks to your support, I've been able to continue to be as true to my art.
Now, just like some of y'all, I don't know her from a can of paint, but what I can tell y'all is that let's normalize calling out influencers that act like this. And what's crazy is that Glamorama would be considered a micro influencer. I say micro influencer because to me, like, no matter the number, congratulations. If you're acting like this while you're a micro influencer, imagine when you're bigger. Now, typically, not all, once again, influencers start out as honest people. Honest people being true to themselves, and they pick up audiences that love them. And then as they start growing, unfortunately, the money speaks louder than them being true to their audience, and they pick up any and everything. And then they go out to be like, I'm not gonna say the name, but they go on to be dishonest influencers, and that is the problem. I totally disagree in how she executed that, especially if she wants to further her future on being a food influencer. It could have been done a different way, and Keith Lee is an example of that. More on him later, because he ended up popping up. Now, I can only imagine when Glamorama saw this, she was like, what? And she posted a story with all her comment section after that video of the bakery blew up. And she said, but I'm the bully? And she added the bakery. Glamorama says she knew what she was doing. Saying I was blackmailing her would upset people. Most content creators charge to come in, and if they don't like it, they still post that it's great. I do not do that. I give them the feedback so they can get better, and I don't post a negative review for their hospitality. If I pay for my meal, I still post an honest review, whether that's positive or negative. Second slide of her Instagram story says, most importantly, because even my own friends were confused by this, I always make sure the server gets 20%, and whether that comes out of my pockets or the restaurant's pockets. Huh? Somebody explain what that last bit means. I'm having a little slow moment right now. Waking up to 1,000 of the comments and messages telling me horrific things is wild, but people need to be angry at someone, and today that is me. When you come on here and you talk or clap back or whatever the case is, you can't truly control your audience. No matter, even if the bakery would have said, hey, please don't leave negative reviews or whatever, people are going to do what people do. We all have free will. I don't agree with what this person said, obviously. Like, this is really stretching it. It's inappropriate, but I wouldn't go back to the baker and call her out on it. Like that, anyway. My entire inbox on both platforms this morning. Again, she knew what she was doing by using the language that she did. She also said she wouldn't name me so she can look innocent, which she didn't. But she knew people in the comments would figure it out. For your info, I thought I was going to love this bakery. I even had my hook for the reel. It was going to say, Arizona people, you let me brag about Paris baguette when this place existed. And I was going to post that positive review regardless of a collab. But unfortunately, I could not post it because that was not how I felt about the pastries. And if you watch the full review, I am not terribly mean. Y'all let me know if she was terribly mean in the comment section, because when I watched that video, before I even clicked the comments, I was like, it's kind of a mean review. It could have been worded better, just because I watched other food influencers make videos about the places they're going to, and it's usually honest critique, so whatever. She now goes by Aurora, I believe, because of all the backlash that she was getting from people that watched the baker's video.
Someone finally stood up to me. You know what? I gotta say, fucking kudos, for real. I respect that. I do. What I don't respect are the lies. So, here are the receipts. You want the truth. You can't handle the truth. I never said that I would leave a good review for a free meal. I have never done that, and I will never do that. So I think it's a bit of a stretch to say that I was bullying you. You have way more followers than I do. You are way cooler than I am. I will admit that. Like, I would love to have the online presence that you do. So if anything, you're kind of punching down. My video got what, like 7,400, I think, maybe 12,000, 13,000 on Instagram. It didn't do great. I also said nice things in that video. I actually do think if you stay away from the nuts, if you're like me that don't like that fake pistachio flavor, I still have one of your other pastries here. Well, this one was a pistachio, so it hasn't been eaten yet. But the pumpkin one that I loved and raved about, I'm not exaggerating. I ate it about 2 hours ago, and I will say it's been frozen for days since Saturday. Pulled it out after about 30 minutes. It was still phenomenal, and I'll stand by that. We also didn't get free drinks. We did get a free shot of espresso, which was so nice. Like, the French man that works there, he was the sweetest man ever. I said I liked my coffee strong. He sent out a free shot of espresso. That was so nice. Regardless, Jenna, I respect your balls. I do respect your talent. It may not be always my taste, but I do respect your talent. I think you make beautiful pastries. I'd work on that quiche though. And I hope both your sides of your pillow are cold at night, and I do wish you nothing but the best.
When you said balls, did you mean her dough balls? No, I'm kidding. I couldn't help but think about how they said even though they declined her offer of coming in and them giving her free food and her reviewing it, when she came in the next day, they immediately recognized her. I would love the CCTV of her coming in and what all went down. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I don't know. That's just been lingering in my head. Like, how did y'all know it was her? What did she say? Moving on, we're gonna read the text. Glamorama says, hello, many friends have highly recommended your pastries. They look amazing. I saw the pumpkin one on TikTok. I was hoping to come do a reel Saturday or Sunday. Would you be interested in a collab? Thank you. And Jenna says, hi, thanks for thinking of us. Unfortunately, right now we have no budget at all to spare, so we wouldn't be able to do a paid partnership with you. Hope you understand. Thank you. Glamorama responds, hi, thank you for your response. I'm not sure if you're familiar with my page, but I do honest reviews. I do not charge for my... Was this after she said no? I do not charge for my content. I could see that because she said a collab, and then Jenna said, we don't do paid collabs. When it's a collab, I will still do the honest review and highlight, focus on what I enjoyed and be softer, quicker on my words with what I may not like as much. Oh, I get it now. I get it now. If you get the food for free, the stuff that you don't like will have a softer blow than what you had when they declined to give you the food, which was all just rude. I get it now. If the experience is terrible, I won't post anything for the kindness of the hospitality. The meal being free does help, is what she's trying to say. The meal will need to be comped, including the gratuity. That's what she meant with the 20%, either from her or the business. If this all looks like something you would be interested in, let me know. The fact that she said,
let me pull the receipts out for y'all. Y'all can't handle the truth.
And these are the types of receipts you have, baby. You could have gone down without pulling out the receipts because the ones that Jenna had were way better than what you have. Jenna responds, okay, thank you for clarifying. I'll let the team know and we will get back to you. She says, sounds great. She didn't wait that long because she said, hello, I never heard back from you. We went in this morning. The staff was very kind. The pastries are beautiful, but there was definitely more missed than hits from what we ordered. Jenna responds, thanks for coming by and the feedback. Pretty much go piss yourself. I don't think I need to yap anymore about this because those screenshots are very telling of the type of person that she is. And in my opinion, whether she does give honest reviews or not, I don't trust them anymore. And I don't trust the influence that she's doing. But that's just my opinion. Everybody makes mistakes. Maybe she's better, but I did hear that she's done stuff like this before. So listen, you have to do better. You have to do better. How about you pay for the meal, give an honest review, and move on with your life? There's a certain way you need to deliver the review to where it's not distasteful and not cringe. And I think you struck all the red flags of being a food critic. Moving on to an influencer that has hit the charts in food reviews, and that is Keith Lee. If you don't know Keith Lee, he is a food reviewer, food influencer, food critic who does his job and does it well and is honest. Let's hear what he had to say.
I think it's a conversation to be had here, and I think it's very important. So let's talk about it. First, I want to say I commend the chef for her response. Not only was it respectful, it was insightful. It taught me a lot as somebody who do food reviews because I love seeing the behind the scenes of what goes into making art. And I think making food is art. And I'm not saying none of this is a dog pile because if you know me, you know I don't do the bullying, I don't do the dog piling, I don't do none of that. But I think it's accountability that should be taken. When I say accountability, I mean on behalf of the food reviewer. Not because she was honest and because she said she didn't like the food. I think when you start allowing money to dictate what your opinion is or to dictate or sway anything that has to do with your opinion, I think that's when you're wrong. And I know it may be like, oh, you successful. It's easy for you to say that. I've been honest since I was on a Paw Patrol chair and I was on food stamps and I was sitting at the little breakaway table or little pull down table that my daughter had. So I'm speaking from experience. I think it's a lot of value in what it is that we do. But I think the reason why we get paid on social media is to be authentic and to be ourselves and to be honest no matter what. And I know a lot of people don't share that same sentiment, but I'm just speaking for myself. And I think it's important to not only say that, but actually put your money where your mouth is. And in my case, I'm blessed enough to say that we just sent 40 people to the state fair. And I specifically said people and not creators because it was people who had 40 followers. It was people who had 1,000 followers. It was all the way up to 200,000 followers. But it was people who just love food. And with that being said, we coming out of paternity leave very soon. And I'm not saying I'm going to this restaurant, but what I am saying is that I love pastries and I'm a bread connoisseur. So if I am invited, I would love to come and get my honest opinion. Because to me, everything looked amazing, but I would love to come see for myself. And as always, I appreciate y'all. God bless you. Have an amazing day. I'll be safe. What you do with a little is what you do with a lot. If you say you're going to be honest now and you're not honest, you ain't going to be honest when you get 100 million followers. That's the way I feel. I'll be safe.
Exactly what I was saying in the beginning. If you are dishonest now, being a micro influencer, how much more when you become successful and bigger and all that? Like, come on, bro. Do better. I want to take this moment and thank all my anti-Delulu Den members for showing me love and support. Y'all were enjoying those pre-recorded videos. If you don't know, I was gone for a bit. I actually went to South Africa, my homeland. That is where I'm from. So thank y'all so much for showing me love on those videos and being patient with me because I was MIA for a little bit, but I'm back. And I love you guys so much. The membership is growing and I will be announcing some new perks very soon. And also, I haven't forgotten about this. Listen, when I tell you my life was flipped upside down all the way around, but I'm alive, so I'm grateful for that. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all next time.